Hi, welcome to a new film recapped. Today we're watching Greenland, an action thriller story. Enjoy. We witness building work being done atop a very large structure. Two guys are discussing some delays. John, the boss, is not happy with the state of affairs. A short while later, he's driving and listening to the radio while learning about an interstellar comet that will pass near Earth. When he gets to a suburban neighborhood, he approaches a house but is hesitant to enter. He walks into a room and spots a woman using a treadmill. Allie is his spouse. They strike up a strange chat about their son Nathan's impending birthday celebration. When the son shows up, he is happy to see him. They visit his room and discuss a sketch he did of the approaching comet, which he named Clarke. It becomes apparent that the boy has diabetes as they are lying on the bed. They discuss John's breakup with his mother. Subsequently, the trio finds itself in a living room, listening to the comet news. The interstellar body, which is composed of several ice fragments trailing behind it, is traveling quickly toward Earth. John is spotted returning to the residence that evening and reoccupying a guest room. The father is listening to the news about the comet once more in the morning. They claim that while comet fragments will fall on Earth, there is no need for concern. Allie comes in while he's cleaning the grill for the next party and tells him he has to run to the store to get a few things. He is accompanied by his son, and they are all staring up at the sky while they are still in the parking lot. They notice the comet getting closer. John receives an automated call and a presidential alert on his phone as they are searching inside the store. The alert is not being received by anyone else in the store. He is told that he has been selected for an emergency shelter transfer, along with his wife and son. The identical alert is displayed on the home television, but Allie is unable to see it. After hastily leaving the store with his son, John notices military vehicles and planes heading the other direction as they drive home. Everyone is ready for the celebration when they get home. John approaches Allie in the kitchen and inquires as to whether she received the same alert. He informs her about the soldiers he spotted on the way, but she brushes him off, thinking it's just a test. Both of them return to the living room, skeptical of what's occurring with the comet, where everyone is watching the news and anticipating seeing a piece of the comet smash into the Atlantic Ocean. When the youngsters begin counting down and an image of the piece appears on the television, nobody is alarmed. Nothing occurs for a brief while as they reach one and wait to witness the splash in the ocean. When a small earthquake occurs, John is walking outside the house when he suddenly feels a huge shockwave that is felt both inside and outside the house and sends a flock of birds flying away. When he returns, everyone is still listening to the news and is terrified. The television anchor declares that the incident sent shockwaves thousands of miles away, striking a city in Florida. The city was utterly devastated. People wonder if more comet parts will strike the planet as an orbital shot of the comet hitting is displayed on the news. John receives a second presidential alert. The call plays on the TV and his phone, allowing everyone to view the message. The message that says John can only bring his family to the refuge is not being received by any of the others. While everyone else flees in terror, he uses his phone to gain a security code to board the aircraft. Concerned about whether they will have enough insulin for the boy, John and Allie are packing. The boy asks about his grandfather. While John runs to fetch Nathan, who reports that the sky is on fire, Allie is getting ready and listening to the horrifying news. Upon exiting the driveway, they discover that none of their pals received the same call. One of them informs the family that a massive fragment of the comet known as the Planet Killer is predicted to strike Earth in 2 days, according to the news. Another neighbor approaches them and begs to take their daughter as they are leaving. John declines, and the two depart, arguing in the car because she might have been turned away at the airbase even if they had taken her. Later, they witness someone robbing the stores as they are driving. They hear on the radio that there have been more impacts and that more are anticipated, which may wipe out entire cities or perhaps trigger an extinction-level event. Suddenly, they approach a large traffic bottleneck on the highway, and John takes a detour. When they go to the military-guarded airbase, the reason people are gathered around the doors is that they are being denied entry. The family uses the barcode they were given to get through the mob and get inside. Once inside, they are instructed to put everything into one smaller bag and are given wristbands for personal identification. John rushes to get Nathan's insulin from the car after they notice all of a sudden that it's missing. When Allie goes to tell the soldiers about her husband, she accidentally causes trouble by revealing to them the boy's diabetes. After being brought to a higher-ranking officer, she is informed that a person with a chronic illness is not permitted on the aircraft. Allie attempts to talk sense into her, but she refuses to listen. She is led out of the base with her son following. Unaware of what is going on, John returns and heads toward the planes in search of them. As the plane takes off, John gets on and tries to reach Allie, but he fails. When he notices the insulin, a fellow traveler informs him of the regulations pertaining to long-term conditions. In a panic, John requests to get off the aircraft. Abruptly, there is an intrusion into the base, and civilians begin firing at the soldiers. John instructs everyone to get out of the plane and flees because there is a gasoline leak. An explosion from the airliner sets off a series of events. As John as well as his family are returning to the car, he learns that his family has been turned down. Nathan's insulin levels are already low. The chaotic scene in front of the base continues, so John takes some time to get back at the car too. John follows Allie and Nathan after receiving a message from her saying they are heading to her dad's house. While traveling, Allie and the boy stop at a pharmacy. After she takes his blood sugar, they head to get him some insulin. Abruptly, a gang enters and opens fire, murdering everyone in their path. They succeed in getting away, and they board a car with a few others to travel a portion of their journey to her father's house. The couple that Allie is riding with quickly exhibits unusual behavior. After a while, they eject her from the vehicle, seize her bracelet, and leave her stranded on the highway without her son. John, meantime, is fortunate enough to secure a ride up north as well. When John strikes up a conversation with Colin, one of the men inside the truck, he learns that they are traveling to Canada and that the driver knows someone who owns a plane that can transport people to the shelters. It appears that Greenland is where the military built the shelters. In order for them to board one of the planes together, the man instructs him to locate his family and meet them in Canada. A major altercation breaks out when one of the other passengers in the truck notices John's bracelet and insists that he give it to him. The truck crashes and spins due to the fighting, ejecting the individuals from the back. Nevertheless, the fight goes on, and John kills the man. Colin dies in the crash. Meanwhile, Allie finds another transport to the base, which is the destination of the individuals who grabbed Nathan. By the time they reach the airport base, he is still spotted riding with them. When the youngster tells the military at the first checkpoint that those folks are not his parents while they are displaying the wristbands, the soldier has them led away and takes him inside. Subsequently, Allie also arrives and endeavors to locate him by moving between medical units. When she eventually locates him, she learns that he has received insulin. The nurse promises to continue helping Allie with Nathan's medication and assist her in locating a military transport to her father's city. John bursts through a door to get food and drink. Upon checking the news right away, he discovers that the biggest impact is anticipated in less than 24 hours. He quickly gets to Allie's dad after finding the family's car's keys and taking it. He discovers him inquiring about his daughter as he is playing cards with his friends. In order to find her and Nathan, they resolve to set aside their differences and cooperate. In the meantime, they contact the residents after stopping at a gas station. The family is at last reunited when John and her father travel to pick them up. When they all return to the house, they discover that John's information concerning the shelters was accurate. In order to get Allie ready for the trip, he persuaded her that they should head to Canada and try their luck. Sadly, they are unable to persuade Allie's father to accompany them. Suddenly, a massive fragment of the comet falls close by, forcing them to move right away. As they drive away, Allie's father offers John a gun and bids him farewell, staying behind. During the drive, John and Allie reunite and make a commitment to stick together. When comet debris begins to fall all around them, they halt for a barricade along the road. As John pulls away of the convoy of vehicles, pieces are dropping all around. While John looks for cover, Allie hides in the back to shield Nathan. They come to a halt by a bridge where some people have hidden as well, but John dashes out to save a man from a burning automobile. They continue traveling and cross into Canada later that evening. They learn that they don't have much longer until the largest portion of the comet hits Earth and wipes out more than 75% of all living creatures while they are looking for the airport over the radio. They observe one jet getting air and another almost lifting up as they are driving, so they pursue the second plane. John drives directly in front of the plane to bring it to a stop. Since he is already at capacity, the pilot is hesitant to accept them, but they are able to persuade him. When John wakes up from his dream of better times, they are getting closer to Greenland. The area appears to be unharmed by the comet until a short while later, when a piece strikes the ocean and sends a shockwave towards the aircraft. The pilot is trying to keep the jet in the air when both engines are failing. They hover the air, landing softly, yet they collide with the glacier. John is unable to assist the pinned pilots on impact. He witnesses a military plane land a mile away, so he leads the plane's occupants to the location. A military van arrives to receive them and transports them to the refuge. As they are going inside, the planet killer hits. The occupants are still moving deeper within the bunker, and the impact will reach them in a matter of minutes. Once inside, they prepare for impact and experience a flashback to their joyful past together. 9 months later, the entire world is destroyed, including all of the cities. After finding survivors and making contact, a radio signal notifies the recipient that the radiation has subsided and the dust has settled. The family is still alive and confronting the planet's destruction when the hatches of the refuge open. They begin to emerge from the shelter when they notice a bird soaring outside, signifying optimism. Radio signals travel the entire world in order to converse with one another, as viewed from space. Everywhere on the Earth, there are still living humans. Subscribe for more movies.